What's up, everybody? Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Valorant video. And in this video, we need to talk about Fade. She has her abilities full revealed, we got gameplay, and we need to talk about how strong she's going to be in the new meta. Especially when SOVA is getting nerfed very hard, we need to talk about what is the meta gonna look like in a Fade world. Let's break it all down. But first, let me tell you about this insane tool, the Overwolf Valorant Tracker. This is an in-game Valorant tracker that is gonna give you live performance updates while you're playing. You're gonna be able to look at your player profile, find your best and worst maps so that you know exactly what you need to focus on, your own personal stats, your most played agent that you can use to gather important information about what you need to do and how you can improve from here. This is our most exciting sponsor yet because it goes hand in hand with our mission to help you improve, and this is perfect for those of you who want to climb. So go check it out right now in the download links below. So the first thing that we're gonna do is showcase the abilities of this agent, and they're pretty freaking strong. We've known them for a while, but we didn't know a lot of the specificities, and some of these abilities seem crazy strong now that we get to see them in action. So first off, that Prowler is something that you control, but once it sees an enemy, it's going to lock onto them and go at them. And when it does hit them, it's going to nearsight them for 3 seconds. So it's almost like a combination of a Sky Dog and an Omen's Paranoia. It can only hit one person, of course, but the fact that you can kind of get it into the ballpark range of an enemy and then it goes after them, blinds them, means that you can combo this with allies, you could combo this, you know, just pushing an enemy yourself, and it's pretty cool. In addition, it can follow trails that get created with some of your other abilities that show where an enemy is moving. They are trails on the ground that you'll be able to see and follow. And this Prowler can actually lock onto these trails, so even if you don't see the enemy, you could just send it on its merry way and it will hunt that person down, hence why this character is called a bounty hunter. This is like your fucking hound dog that chases people down. Now, the next ability that we actually got to talk about is, of course, the throwable orb. This throwable is going to be one of the most controversial abilities on this character, because the orb travels through the air and you can press it again so that it slams around the ground. It has a huge radius. It's very large, and any and all enemies that are hit inside this will suffer 75 decay damage. So it's like, boom, you're already at 75 if you were at max, and it's gonna go up slowly, but that's a huge damage chunk right then and there. You are deafened, and you cannot escape by normal means. So of course you could use some crazy ability, but the majority of people are not gonna be able to escape. So you hit an enemy in this, and you are just like basically locking them in a cage where they are easier to push and they are very easy to kill because they basically take initially 75 damage. Now, the downside to this, of course, is the fact that it doesn't do any damage outright. It's not gonna kill people even if they're weak. So you can't really use this to clear a corner or clear a cubby. If there's a cubby, you throw this in there, you don't necessarily know if it's clear. An enemy could stay there, not leave, and then eventually it will all fade, and then they'll be back to full health, right? So that's why it's so strong, but in choke points or in rush pushes or whatever, I could see this being very powerful at stopping enemies from doing that. And I think it has a ton of potential. Very strong, and it makes sense that it is because, like I said, it doesn't clear cubbies in the same way that a lot of like damage-based abilities would, but it's still ridiculously powerful. Now, the next thing that we need to actually talk about is the Haunt ability, and this is where you throw the orb. The orb is going to drop to the ground, and it's going to raise that eye, you know, the Eye of Sauron, that is going to be able to gather information. Now, we know that the eye can be destroyed, so it's similar to other information gathering abilities where you could destroy it, whether it's a drone, whether it's a dart, whatever the case may be, you're gonna be able to destroy this eye, and it's kind of similar to like a Reina Blind. And as far as destroyables are concerned, the Prowler is destroyable, and this Haunt Eye is destroyable, but the Seize Orb that's on the ground is not destroyable, so that's important to remember. Now, on top of that, if you get revealed by the eye, you're gonna get a trail debuff, and it's gonna last for 12 seconds. And this is the trail that basically just follows you. No matter where you go, enemies are gonna see exactly where you ran to, and they're gonna be able to potentially follow it. Now, there's gonna be some interesting counterplay here where you get tagged and you run around the corner in one direction and then you're baiting for an ally in another one. So it's a really interesting dynamic here where you could kind of use the chasing incentive to set up an ally for a play, so that's interesting. But another aspect of this is what we alluded to before with the Prowler. If the trail is on you, the Prowler can get thrown and it will just chase you. So this is a really, really cool thing to do where even if an enemy is baiting for like a separate cubby, you can throw your Prowler to chase the person and then you can clear the other angles and still follow your Prowler at the same time. And enemies aren't gonna wanna come challenge you because then they're gonna get hit with the fucking Prowler that is chasing them to hell and back. So really, really cool stuff. And yeah, that's a lot of potential information. I mean, between the Prowler going out, potentially getting information, between this Haunt getting information, I think that this character provides a lot of information gathering for your team. And especially off the back of SOVA's huge nerf, this is a really strong indicator that this character might be better than you expect in the meta. Now, the last thing that we need to talk about is the ultimate, and I think this ultimate's nuts. It's Nightfall, it's an equipped ability. You fire it out to send out a wave of dark mist, and when the mist comes in contact with an enemy, they're gonna get trailed, they're gonna get deafed, and decayed. So instant, like 25 damage, boom, decayed. Of course, it's gonna go up, but they're gonna be deafened, similar to how they are in Siege. And then they're gonna be able to be trailed. You're not only gonna be able to see where they are, but you could send freaking Prowler dogs after them. And you need to look and see the freaking range of this thing. This ultimate is fucking-ganning. It's like a breach ult, but you just, instead of stunning them, you just get perfect information about where they are, they're deaf, and they're weak. So you know exactly where enemies are. They could die to like whatever weapon because they're already super, super weak. It's freaking nuts. It's really, really strong. This character has a ton of things going for her. I think it allows you to take information, take sites, retake. There's a lot of potential with this character, and I think that she is very, very strong. What she loses out of in like a flash-based ability or some sort of aggressive damage-based ability, she gets in the ability to set up her team. And I think she perfectly embodies what an initiator is. I think that it's really, really cool. They made her unique. And I don't know if you've seen clips of the Prowler flying around, but this thing looks fucking horrifying. Like, Valor is a goddamn horror game now when you turn the corner and it just fucking eats your face off. Definitely really cool, and I'm incredibly excited to see this character in action. As far as the new characters introduced to the game, I think she's one of the strongest. Probably not the most powerful new character that was introduced to the game. Like, Killjoy was very, very strong off rip. Chamber is already incredibly strong. But there's something very different about her release. At the same time she's getting released, two of the top meta agents are getting nerfed in Jet and SOVA very, very hard, and she's getting released simultaneously to those changes. So not only is the power level existing in the game being dropped where a lot of the top agents are being hit, but she's being introduced in that environment, which makes me think that she's going to be more powerful than normal because the overall power level of the game has been decreased. But I really want to pass the question on to you. How do you feel about this character for ranked play? How do you feel about this character for pro or meta play? And will you main her? I want to know all about that down below. And the GameLeap website's the best place to go if you want high quality advanced guides made by Immortal or Radiant level players. We have tips, tricks, guides, and so much more. Do yourself a favor and go check it out right now down below.